Today we will be talking about nuclear weapons testing, including the history, uses, types, and how it works. Hope you enjoy. Up first is the history. The first nuclear test was performed by the United States on July 16, 1945. Then the first hydrogen bomb was tested on November 1, 1952, also by the United States. Finally, the largest test ever performed was the Tsar bomb in October of 1961 by the Soviet Union. Now we're going to talk about the treaties. Many countries signed the limited test ban in order to make sure that no more tests would be done anywhere but underground, in order to ensure the safety for the environment. Later on, a comprehensive test ban treaty was signed so that no countries would detonate nuclear weapons, period. North Korea, however, is the only country known that has broken this treaty in 2013. Now on to countries and their first tests. The United States was the first country ever to test a nuclear bomb in July of 1945. Followed by the Soviet Union, United Kingdom, France, China, India, and Pakistan. The final country to start nuclear testing was North Korea in October of 2002, which was only announced by the government, so it is not a confirmed date. Now we move on to the last test of each country. The Soviet Union was the first country to hop off the bandwagon in 1990, followed by the United Kingdom, the United States, China, France, Pakistan, and India, and finally North Korea. North Korea, however, has decided that it will not stop nuclear testing by testing in 2013, and they show no signs of stopping. Next, we move on to types of reactions, including, first up, we have pure fission bombs. Also known as atomic bombs, these bombs contain fissile materials such as uranium or plutonium to fuel the reaction, creating a large explosion. This is the most common type of nuclear bomb known to man due to the relatively simplicity of the concept compared to other types of bombs. Up next, we have fusion bombs, also known as hydrogen bombs or thermonuclear bombs. This is a type of bomb that relies on a fission reaction for detonation, which often results in a much larger explosion due to the two different types of explosions occurring. Only 6 countries have detonated these types of bombs, including the United States, Russia, United Kingdom, China, India, and finally France.
Types of nuclear tests. Nuclear tests have been carried out in all environment above ground, underground, and underwater. Atmospheric tests. Atmospheric tests occur inside the atmosphere. The device is detonated, dropped from airplanes, and many other ways. This test is used to determine the effect of the blast and radiation in the atmospheric environment. The explosions that are close to the ground will make mushroom cloud and generate large amount of nuclear fallout. Underground test. This nuclear test is conducted under the Earth's surface at various depths. Occasionally it vents to the surface and producing considerable amounts of radioactive debris as a consequence. In result, it creates earthquake activity, which magnitude depends on the amount of energy discharged. Exo-atmospheric test. This nuclear test conducted above the atmosphere. The devices are lifted on the rockets. This kind of explosion has been tested to determine the effect of the blast and radiation in the exo-atmospheric environment. The highest altitude was 540 kilometers. USA and the Soviet was the only one who have done this test. Underwater test. This testing usually the nuclear device is being detonated underwater tied up to a ship or a barge. This test conducted to evaluate the effect of nuclear weapons against naval vessels and to evaluate the effects of nuclear explosion underwater. This underwater test close to surface can disperse a large amount of radioactive particles in water.
Now, why are these tests done? These tests are done for 3 main reasons, the first being the massive effect on the science and military in that country. The next is the assurance that the bomb will perform as expected in order to ensure safety. The final purpose is to express military and global power through proving that the country could be a threat in war and in other aspects. Now, what are some future impacts? The worries of these tests are based on how these tests are negatively affect the environment. The destruction of many resources in the area can often be a cause. On top of this, there's always the worry that one country will get out of hand with its control of its nuclear weapons, and this could end in a nuclear war and devastation for humanity. Up next, we have a short video that can show what a nuclear explosion will look like. We've talked about it so far, but here is a little clip.